What's going on, you guys? My name is Zach, and this is Walk the Park. For our walk today, we are strolling through Disney California Adventure. It is a beautiful late winter, early spring day. So without further ado, let's go for a walk. So for our walk today, I thought I would try something a little different and have a topic for us to talk about while we go on our little stroll here. And so for today's topic, I want to present to you a top 5 list. But before I tell you what my top 5 is, let me explain how I got there. Recently, obviously, the Walt Disney Company has brought on Josh D'Amaro as their new CEO. And that's all really exciting, and everybody's been talking about, Bob Iger's legacy and, what he brought to the Walt Disney Company and to entertainment really in general. But one of the topics that I saw kind of circulating online was Michael Eisner and what he did for the Walt Disney Company. And I think as people have gotten older and more time has gone on, we kind of look at things through rose-colored glasses, and people think very fondly of Michael Eisner's time as CEO, which overall they should. I mean, we had the Renaissance era where there were some absolutely amazing films, from Beauty and the Beast to The Little Mermaid to Aladdin, just to name a few. But there was one little part in Michael Eisner's legacy, or at least his time as CEO, that at the time seemed like it was going to just be the death of him. Now we look at some of this quite fondly, but back then, not so much. And what I'm of course talking about are the DisneyToon animation direct to VHS/DVD sequels. These films ranged from every classic. I mean, it was like no classic was safe, right? Cinderella had 2 and 3. There was Bambi 2, Lady and the Tramp 2. Practically every classic film got a sequel, and they went directly to DVD or VHS, and most of them were pretty much panned by the critics, and they were pretty harsh. And as time went on, many of them were forgotten, because I guess of the kind of the market left on not only Michael Eisner's legacy, but Walt Disney itself. And then along came Disney Plus, and all those films came trickling back out of the vault, as it were. Does anybody remember the Disney vault? But here we are today, and all of these films are available to us. And so I wanted to bring you guys today the top 5, my top 5, favorite direct-to-video sequels from that era. And maybe this will inspire you to look back and watch one of these 5, or maybe you can tell me what your favorite one is, because I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was looking on Disney Plus earlier, I realized there are several of these sequels I've never seen, and that might be for good reason. But nonetheless, there are a ton of these sequels. So let's dive into my top 5, shall we? Coming in at number 5, it's Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas. So this film in 1997 sold 7.6 million VHS tapes. Unbelievable. Initially, this film was going to be a direct sequel to the original, with the main villain slated to be Gaston's younger brother. Just kind of wild to think about, but they actually got it from a French live-action film in 1946. His younger brother's goal was to essentially avenge Gaston and, ruin the lives of Belle and the prince, which, by the way, I heard his name is Adam. What? Mind blown. Reportedly, he was going to use sorcery to transform the prince back to Beast and frame Belle for it somehow. Obviously, this sequel never happened, And we end up with Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas. While it sits on Rotten Tomatoes with a rotten score of 11%, yikes, the music is catchy, it's Christmassy, the animation is nice due to the digital ink and paint that they used. I don't know, it's just a good film to watch with the kids at Christmas time. The other thing that's refreshing about this sequel is that the original cast returned to voice their respected characters. Many times these, budget films like this, you end up with people that fill the role of voicing the characters. They sound nothing like the originals. But, Paige O'Hara returned for Belle, and Robbie Benson for Beast, Angela Lansbury for Mrs. Potts. Even in the antagonist, Mr. Forte himself, the organist that was I shouldn't say organist, he wasn't literally just an organ. He was a digitally animated character throughout this film. He was voiced by Dr. Frankenfurter himself, Mr. Tim Curry. So, I don't know. All in all, this film deserves more love than what it got. And if you haven't seen it, check it out this Christmas season. Whoa, hey, what's going on there, Dr. Strange? Coming in at number 4, Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time. Now, this film was made in 2007, and it was the final project produced by DisneyToon Studios in Australia. So Disney dissolved various departments while the film was still in production, which is kind of wild. A Twist in Time was released direct-to-video on February 6, 2007. Unlike most of Disney's direct-to-video sequels, it received positive reviews from critics, who praised the character developments of Cinderella, the Prince, Anastasia. It currently sits on Rotten Tomatoes right now at 75%, which is kind of impressive. Cinderella 3: A Twist in Time grossed nearly $93 million in home video sales. So it's kind of funny to me, like so many people, I can remember when this movie came out, I was in high school, and so many people just hated on the fact that Disney was destroying its IP, and yet $93 million in video sales tells me there is some demand here. Most of the voices returned from the 2002 sequel Dream Come True, which is kind of funny that he worried about continuity from a direct-to-video sequel of a direct-to-video sequel that right now sits with a rotten score of 13%. But, hey, hats off to him. The actress Hayden Panettiere, I'm probably screwing up her last name because I'm an idiot. She recorded the film's theme song, I Still Believe. You might know her from the ABC show Nashville or NBC's Heroes. That was a personal favorite of mine. But fun little fact too, C.D. Barnes voices the Prince, which isn't odd unless you know that he also voiced Ariel's Prince Eric, in the 1989 animated classic, The Little Mermaid. I personally thought the story was great. Lady Tremaine is exceptionally evil in this film, and while many characters were very cartoony, her animation remained consistently realistic, which further grounded her antagonism. This story was really unique. I don't know. This film, it sucks that it's a third sequel of, and all of that. And by this time, the direct-to-video sequels were pretty tired. And obviously nothing will usurp the original. But this sequel, in my opinion, proved that sequels can be done if everything comes together. So if you haven't seen Cinderella 3: A Twist in Time, go check it out on Disney+. Coming in at number 3, and not without controversy, it is Return to Neverland. I say that about this film because in 2002, at one point, this film was going to be direct-to-video, then it wasn't, then it was, and finally Disney took a shot and said, let's premiere this thing in the box office. And so in February 2002, they did just that at the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood, and it paid off at $115 million in their gross on a $20 million budget. And they did so by hiring revered voice actors to play the parts instead of, big A-list names. They got very well-respected names like Jeff Bennett or Corey Burton, Frank Welker, Kath Soucie. You look up these names, these guys have a filmography that is a mile long. I guarantee you they have played parts in some of your favorite cartoons over the years. And by keeping this thing low budget, they were able to make a serious dent in the box office. It sits at 46% on Rotten Tomatoes. But the story is nostalgic. It also maintains an original premise. I don't know. If you loved Peter Pan, I think you'll love this movie. If you haven't seen Return to Neverland, check it out. Coming in at number 2, it's Lion King 1.5. It's not a sequel, it's a sidequel, I heard somebody call it. I love this movie. Made in 2004. It sits at a 76% on Rotten Tomatoes, and for good reason. One of the things that's interesting about this film is everybody kind of knows that the original Lion King was inspired by Hamlet. Well, in 1966, there was a tragic comedy staged in Denmark where two minor characters retell the story of Hamlet. And that sounds oddly familiar to what we see here in Lion King 1.5, which gives us the story of the Lion King through the perspective of two minor characters in the film. Of course, our two friends, Timon and Pumbaa. On its first day of sales, this film sold 1.5 million DVD copies. The first 3 days of its release, it generated around $55 million in sales revenue, which is wild. By March of 2004, 6 million DVDs and VHS copies of this film had been sold in North America. If you haven't seen this, I mean, this is peak stuff for me. I don't know. Go check it out for yourself. Tell me what you think. Lion King 1.5. Or, as it was internationally called, Lion King 3, Hakuna Matata. Coming in at number 1, my all-time favorite direct-to-video sequel, it's Aladdin and the King of Thieves. This movie came out 30 years ago in August of 1996. About a year before that, it was confirmed that Robin Williams would reprise his role as the voice of the genie, which was a great move. I think it's what made this movie. He gets $1 million salary out of this and an apology from Disney, which is a story for another time, but not a lot of people get apologies out of Disney. So anyway, in 96, this film sold 10.3 million units and becomes the 6th best selling film in the United States in 96, which is just wild stuff. The cast for this film is amazing. Not only do the voices for Aladdin and Princess Jasmine return, as well as Gilbert Godfrey as Iago, but you also have Jim Cummings in this film. He's only the voice actor of, I don't know, a billion different animated characters, including Winnie the Pooh himself. But John Rhys Davis is in this film, as well as Jerry Orbach. There's a lot of names in this one. Now, Rotten Tomatoes gives this thing 33%, and I get it. I mean, the animation is giving Saturday morning cartoons, but Robin Williams, oh my goodness, when they are at the red carpet for the wedding. I mean, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it, but you have got to see this movie for that scene alone. Love this movie. I obviously love Robin Williams. Was devastated to lose him when we did, but I love his library of content. His work is just, I don't know. I hold it close to my heart, and so I don't care that this is a direct-to-video sequel. It's right up there. That scene especially is right up there with the original. I loved it. Did you love it? If you have you seen it yet? If you haven't, I don't know what you're doing with your, Friday night, but I would consider Aladdin and the King of Thieves. That is for sure. So that's my list. What is your favorite direct-to-video sequel? Let me know in the comments. I'm telling you, there are a lot out there. The other day, I watched The Fox and the Hound 2, and I was like, man, I didn't know this existed. And like Reba McEntire is like a voice in it. I mean, it's crazy. So there's a lot of them out there. My daughter was watching Kronk's New Groove the other day, and so there's a ton of them out there. Tell me which ones are your favorites. Hey, thanks for going along with me today through Disney California Adventure and talking about some of my favorite direct-to-video sequels. Before we go, I'm going to show you some of the progress being made at the scale. That is one of the goals of this video, is to keep walking and keep exercising so that we can see numbers decrease on that way scale. So I'll show you that before we sign out of here. But if you're out there and you are struggling, and man, you're just going through it and it feels like you can't see the light of day, I just want to let you know that it gets better. And try to embrace the words that Walt Disney once said, and that is simply keep moving forward. God bless you guys. I'll see you on our next walk.